The towering cliffs, once thought to be eternal, suddenly trembled and cracked apart. Massive boulders crashed down with a deafening roar, shattering the silence. At the same time, raging floodwaters surged forward, sweeping away soil, trees, and debris as they thundered into the streets. The once familiar roads were instantly swallowed by chaos, with the rushing currents carrying everything in their path. The road was now covered in mud, slick and stained after nature's wrath. Trees lay toppled, their branches tangled and scattered across the ground, remnants of the storm's fury. Deep cracks marred the earth, with water still trickling through the crevices. The once familiar scene had turned desolate and silent, with only the wind whispering through the tattered leaves, as if mourning the devastation. Yet amid the ruin, there remained the quiet promise of renewal. The blinding white storm swept in, carrying howling winds and dense rain that veiled the entire sky. The world was shrouded in a cold, gray haze as fierce waves roared across the raging ocean, swallowing everything in their path. Trees bent under the relentless wind, and the earth trembled beneath the merciless force of nature. The floodwaters, dark and murky, surged across the streets, carrying mud, debris, and the remnants of the storm that had just passed. Once familiar roads were now engulfed in chaos, their surfaces cracked and broken, while the rushing currents swept away everything in their path. The pungent smell of damp earth lingered in the air, blending with the constant murmur of the relentless flowing water. The flames erupted fiercely, with thick black smoke billowing into the sky, obscuring the sun. The crackling sound of burning wood echoed through the air. People panicked, rushing to escape in haste. Fierce flames erupted deep in the forest, spreading rapidly like a monstrous beast devouring everything in its path. Trees collapsed, and wildlife fled in panic, but not all could escape in time. Thick black smoke billowed into the sky, obscuring the sun, leaving behind only ashes and charred remnants of what once thrived. A wildfire is not just the destruction of a forest. It takes countless lives and serves as a stark reminder of nature's fragility and humanity's responsibility to protect our planet. We are always small and powerless before the immense force of nature, especially when the floods arrive. The raging waters sweep away homes and even dreams and hopes. Facing natural disasters, people can only endure, holding on to each other to survive. But after every flood, when the waters recede, shattered lives begin the journey of rebuilding once more. Massive vehicles weighing thousands of tons, once seemingly unshakable, now appeared powerless against the relentless force of the raging floodwaters. The surging currents swallowed everything, sweeping away cars and ships like lifeless toys. The sound of metal crashing echoed through the furious waters, blending with the howling wind and nature's deafening roar. The entire region was engulfed in chaos, where people could do nothing but helplessly witness the wrath of the earth and sky. The sky was a heavy, lifeless gray, as if draped in a mourning shroud over everything below. On the ground, the dark, murky waters rushed violently, carrying mud, debris, and the remnants of a world recently submerged. The streets lay silent, drowned in floodwater, with houses battered and trees broken, painting a scene of eerie desolation. No laughter, no bustling life, only an abandoned city, swallowed by nature's fury, standing like a graveyard where all signs of life had been washed away. Rocks, mud, and debris piled up on the road, scattered like rough scars left by nature's fury. They not only blocked the way, but also cast a heavy, suffocating sense of desolation over the surroundings. Once bustling streets now lay in eerie silence, marked only by the lingering traces of floodwaters. Everything seemed frozen in time, yet somewhere, hands covered in dirt and sweat worked tirelessly, clearing away the wreckage, piece by piece, so that life could rise again from the ruins left behind by nature's wrath.